Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to GameKheyl. My name is Naveed, aka Barely Average Gaming, and today we have ourselves a legend of the UFC gaming generally. So we have ourselves a legend of the UFC gaming itself. We have Mr. Fabio, and just to put things in perspective, this man has had some amazing life experiences. He may not look it, but he is pretty old. So he will share a lot of his stories with us. He's going to tell us about his journey in life, in UFC, how his life has been, and also his goals moving forward. We welcome you, sir, to today's stream. Sir, how are you doing today?
Hello, my friend. How are you? All right, I'm doing very good.
I'm doing excellent, sir. It's an absolute pleasure to finally see you in person.
My pleasure, bro.
For some of you guys who are here, especially the ones who are watching this, Fabio is someone who's been in the community for a long period of time. I've actually had the pleasure of commentating on his fights. We've actually shared a camp previously. So I know a little bit about this man, but I believe you guys are in for a treat as to what he is going to share with us today. So Fabio, again, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here and to have you share all of your experiences and your stories with us.
Thanks, bro.
So before we start, before we really get into the thick of things, again, I would like to give a huge shout out to the UFC community. Your support has meant a lot to GameKheyl. We are going to do our best in order to have a lot of online tournaments. We were having those previously, but we are in the process of trying to get our setups ready. We're trying to get some things improved when it comes to our streaming. We just got ourselves a brand new camera. So we are going to keep on improving what we can and make this experience even more worthwhile for all of you watching. So now, Fabio, back to you. Sir, you've had a very, very interesting life, so to say. Just to put things in perspective, he's an Italian man currently living in Serbia. So he's currently here, but he has traveled quite a bit. He has had experiences with the military, and he's going to share it all with us. Sir, if you could just put in perspective, just give us a little brief about where you're from, what you've done, and where you're headed.
So I'm from Palermo. This is the capital of Sicily, my island, which I really love it. And in my life, basically, I did so many things, so many jobs. Yeah, I was in the army, as you said, because I was forced. But then in the end, in the same time that I supposed to go in the army, came out a kind of professional career for military. So I was forced. The difference was that I had to do 3 months more, but at least I was going to get some money. So I did this experience. And then I was basically 1.5 years, which I was also in Bosnia in a, let's say, a peace mission, but the war was done already, you know, so it wasn't that risky. We were making good things for the city, you know, I don't know, rebuilding bridges, you know, making new streets. So it was a good and tough experience because also I was 20 years old, you know. Imagine me like I was going like in the nightlife every night, you know, on the weekend, and then in some point I got there, and I was basically 6 months without going out because in that moment we couldn't go out from the basement, so it was kind of jail, you know, like it was like in the prison, like you couldn't go out, you couldn't have a life, social life. So I think I got a bit older for that experience, like about mentality, you know, because then when was really tough, you know, to be out of your hometown, you know, when you're young. I had even a girlfriend in that time, you know. And after that, I came back home. I tried another year, and then I got fed up of the army because it's not for me, you know. Like it's like you have to like this kind of life. If you like this kind of life, is good. If you do just for money, you feel like a slave. And basically, I was doing just for money, you know. I didn't give a shit about patriotism or war, you know. I'm for the peace, you know. So I don't even want to get the chance to, I don't know, have to kill someone. It's not for me. So in that moment, I decided to quit, and I did different jobs. I was real estate agent. I was working with air conditioner, you know, a lot of stuff. And then basically I was in a long relationship with a girl about 8 years, and in the end I broke up with her. It was really like I say heartbreaking, kind of. and I decided to leave Sicily. You know, I said like, you know, I'm single. I don't have kids. I had an uncle in USA. I say, why not? You know, like if not now, now or never. You know. And I just sold my motorcycle. That I had the motorcycle. I did the ticket, and I went to USA. Then after 3 months, I supposed to go back. Also because I had the bicycle just for 3 months. And I decided to stay there. So in the end, I was there 1 year. So, and after 1 year, I came back. I went around Italy to find a job. You know, that was amazing experience. You know, that experience in US, like I reborn there. You know, because I was kind of zombie. You know, depression. You know, about love, shit like that. There, I also discovered how the American women love Italians, you know, because when I was saying like I'm from Italy, the girls, oh my God, Italiano. I said, wow, like let's go, you know, like I was feeling like to drive a Ferrari like in Italy, you know, and say a girl, you know, come with me, you know, was incredible. And I tried the best weed in the world, I guess, in California. There is that was another amazing experience. So after that, I came back in Italy, and I tried to go on North Italy, you know, to find some job. Basically, like I didn't want to go back home anymore. Like, and after that, I had a friend in Malta that basically we growed up each other's. Yeah, I mean we were growing up together. So basically we know each other's from more than 10 years, 30 years. And he knew that I was without job, you know, I was looking for some new experience, and he told me to go in Malta. I went there, and I was a waiter for, I don't know, 3 years. I was changing different restaurants, you know, like fast food, I don't know, steakhouse. And also, thanks because of it, I speak my English. That is not perfect, as you can see, but I can communicate a bit. And after that, I got a job in the office. You know, we work on statistics about sports, this stuff. And then after 3 years, this company just moved in Serbia, you know, and I was like, I wanted to escape from Malta, honestly, because it's a very small island. You know, after I can say after 1 year, you are fed up. So I get the chance. Now I'm here in Serbia, and I'm living here from 3 years. That I would never say like after being like in Bosnia, you know, because there was the war, you know, between Bosnia, Croatia, and Serbia. I wouldn't even think about like that one day I would live in the other nation, you know, in the other side, you know. But I can say I live very good here. I mean, I like the place. It's very good country. I like the people, and also I was living with Serbian people when I was in Malta, because there are a lot of them there. So I knew already their mind, how they are. I feel similar to them in a lot of ways. You know, they're traditionalists like me. You know, like in south of Italy, we have this culture. So I don't complain. I stay good here.
Well, I think one thing that you mentioned is the fact that you've been able to see both sides of a conflict. So you've been in Bosnia, you're currently in Serbia, and your interaction with people really adds to the perspective, because a lot of people think that the people on the other side may be like this or that because you don't really know what's happening on the other side. But once you go there, you realize it's mostly just the politicians and the I don't know what else, but it's primarily the politicians and the people, the decision makers. Yes, that's the word. So those decision makers kind of force it on people to hate one another, and that's pretty much the case in most of the countries around the world. Yeah. But it's good to really see the fact that you've had those experiences, and more importantly, being able to learn from them and improve yourself. And speaking of improvement, you have been able to transition from UFC 3 and became a monster in UFC 4 as well. So how did you get into gaming in general? How did you get into esports? Because as far as I remember, you were initially into wrestling, and then from there you realized Brock Lesnar was one of your inspirations for you to move to UFC. If you can share that story with us.
Basically, it's a long story. But since I was young, I was crazy about video games. I remember my first console I had was Super Nintendo. And I was crazy always about games. And my favorite games in the time were about soccer. So I was playing PES. So then, let's say until 2008, I was playing constantly, you know, but always offline, you know. Then came up the online gaming, and I started to play there. After it, basically, I left, as I told you, Sicily, so I didn't have a PlayStation anymore. So I didn't play at all. Then in Malta, once I won a bet that I was playing €3. I played like 12 soccer teams, and I got like almost €3,000 with that. And I say, you know, let's spend some money, you know, what's up? And I was looking YouTube once, and I saw this game, UFC. But you mentioned the Brock Lesnar. So in the beginning, it was like I was fan of WWE. And then I was fan, of course, of Brock Lesnar. If you know WWE, you know Brock Lesnar. Once I saw that he came in MMA. And I saw this video with his fight with Cain Velasquez. And I saw him like getting beat out of Velasquez. As soon as I saw that fight, I got in love with Velasquez right away. So I start to check on YouTube Cain Velasquez, and I saw all his fights. Then I saw his fights against Junior Dos Santos, and I got in love with Junior Dos Santos. And basically, that's how I got in love with UFC. So I started to watch, and in some point I saw this game. There was UFC 2 on YouTube, and I saw the game. I said, I want the PlayStation. You know, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna buy the PlayStation 4, and I bought the PlayStation 4 with just UFC, and the Last of Us that was, you know, included on it. As soon as I got into the game, I was shit in the beginning. Of course, I never put my hands on it. But after, I don't know, I can tell you 1 month and something, I got in love for the game. And I was striker in that game. I was using Robbie Lawler and Cain Velasquez, of course. Then I was starting to face Fabrizio. No, when you get high in the division, like all the UFC games, you got with the spammers and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, Fabrizio Verdum was my nightmare. All people were start to clinch in me, so I became also a wrestler. I started to learn grappling, and that was the end of UFC 2. Because remember, after 6 months came out UFC 3, and I started with UFC 3. If you remember, if you played UFC 2, basically when UFC 3 came out, the grappling more or less was the same, but the striking was totally different. So in the beginning, I was stupid. I was thinking about ranking, and I started to be a grappler, you know, because I was caring just about the win. You know, I didn't give a shit to learn striking. And I got, you know, Division 20 right away, just putting everyone on crucifix and killing everyone. That was what I was doing. And I started to face this Seth Parker, you know, and this guy, man, like in the beginning, I remember I couldn't survive 20 seconds with him. Like as soon as I was getting close to it, he was mashing me. Like I was, what the fuck is this guy? You know, like I remember we were like 16, 17-0 for him, you know, like it was crazy, you know, like, and at some point I said, okay, like I have to learn strike, you know, like it's not enough grappling. So I started to learn strike slowly, even by lucky sometimes getting knocked out from everyone. In 1 year, I became a good striker, you know, and then I faced him again once, and I beat him. I started to beat him, you know, once. Sometimes he was winning always, but I was winning. I don't know, every 3 fights, one was mine in some point. Then I met some Italian guys that they were adding me on the PSN because they were looking me on the list, you know, top 20, top 30, and they introduced me the Ultimate Team, and I started to do this Ultimate Team, and I like it honestly. So I had my fighters. You know, there was the elite fighters. Growing up, I got I had Tito Ortiz in light heavyweight, and then I got once this Wanderlei Silva, but I wasn't using it because in the beginning I didn't like Wanderlei Silva, and there was this guy Mesrin. I don't know if you know the nickname. He's still playing UFC 4. Mesrin.
I think I've heard
Mesrin. And this guy was first in the world in Ultimate Team. He was just spamming the knee and the spinning elbow with Chuck Liddell because he had, you know, all the best cards. You know, he could spam like crazy, and I couldn't handle with him because also I was trying to grapple him because the Ortiz was grappler and he was good on grappling, so I couldn't have a chance with this guy. Once I said, let's try Wanderlei Silva, you know, and I was on ranking, and I faced him again with Liddell, and I was Silva, you know, and this time, man, I beat him like crazy, you know, like I was just landing with Wanderlei Silva. It was very fast because you could also fix your fighter. You could make as you wanted. So my head movement, think about, was 100, you know, maximum, you know, powerful. So I beat him out. After that, I say, okay, now this is my fighter. Like if I beat him with Wanderlei, I can beat anyone. And that's I was starting to be curious about Wanderlei Silva. I started to watch his videos, you know, his fights, interviews, and I got in love for him, basically, you know. And that was like the begin. Then I came back on ranking, and I was going only with Wanderlei Silva, you know. And I saw that I could beat everyone, you know, everyone. Believe me, like no one could handle my Silva, like. Even like the grapplers, like Jagares House, I don't know. I was eating like a breakfast. Those guys, you know, they didn't have a chance with me, you know. And also once we had in the end, that was of the game, we had a challenge with at Parker. He like lightweight, he was beating me up. Like with McGregor, he was unbeatable. Like you couldn't beat him. Like you had to be lucky to beat him with McGregor. But when he came to my Silva, he couldn't handle my Silva. I remember he was changing. He was Bisping, then he went with Anderson Silva. Like he was changing all the fight. Like he couldn't do shit with my Silva. That's how the Wanderlei Silva legend started. Also because when I saw him fighting, like his fights, that's my style, you know, on the game. You know, I like him. You know, I come close to you and I smash you. Like I don't like to go around to be the perfect striker that's landing one shot, two shots. I come to you. I like the exchanges, you know, on the game. I like the action, you know. So I said, Wanderlei is my king.
And I think in terms of in my own experience that I've seen people using Wanderlei Silva, I can unequivocally say no one has been able to be as proficient with Wanderlei Silva as you, sir. You probably are the best player of Wanderlei Silva in the world, if not the best. So again, I believe you've been able to exploit his abilities in real life and translate that into the game. And that essentially is what UFC is all about. You have to understand different styles and then figure out which one suits you best and then stick to it and try to impose that on the others. And once you realize that there are something that you need to improve, you can do that as well. So Fabio, like you've mentioned, a lot of things about UFC 3, your own experiences with the game and in life. I believe you have a lot of things to say about UFC 4 itself. And also the fact that there is another game coming out, that is ESBC. And a lot of people, including yourself, are very excited for it. If you could share some thoughts about that game and what you are looking forward to.
The ESBC?
Yeah.
The ESBC, I'm so hyped about it. I'm really, really dying to put my hands on that game. And I hope it's going to be a very good game, very famous game also. So we can start even to make some money, you know, to go, I don't know, esports tournaments. I'm really looking to be one of the best in that game because finally we can have just a striking game as you know, I really want a striking game. So over there will be, I hope, no cheesy stuff like, I don't know, no more clinch, no more takedowns, you know, just a tactic game, you know, just, I don't know, there are, I guess there are 42 or 46 punches totally. So it's gonna be, I think, much more competitive game and real game, you know, real boxing simulator, you know. You can only just punch your opponent, so you need to study the counter strikes. That's what I like, you know. So I think I will love very much that game, and I hope it's going to come out soon because I'm getting fed up on waiting. Trust me, like I want to put my hands on that game so badly.
Yeah,
and I will do Wanderlei Silva on that game, of course, like created fighter. Like maybe I will do also Il Fabio 83, you know, another pro. Like when they see me, Il Fabio 83, they have to shit their pants, man. With Wanderlei Silva.
Yeah, that Il Fabio account of yours on PlayStation and on Twitch is something of that we would like to say the stuff of legends. Also, another thing that I believe you've mentioned with the fact that this game is being delayed a little bit. I believe if they could take their time but make the perfect product, once it comes out, there are not enough glitches in the game that really makes the issues that you've mentioned with UFC 4 less prominent. So we really hope that the developers here, we have our best wishes to them, that they are able to produce some of the best fighting simulators that has ever come. So again, best wishes from us to them. Another thing that you've recently gotten very good at is streaming, sir. Your stream is putting out numbers that not a lot of people have been able to pull off when it comes to UFC 4. Because if you remember, in UFC 3, there were a lot of people who would watch UFC 3. But in UFC 4, when you look at the stream numbers, sometimes the number goes down to around 50, sometimes even 40. But whenever you're streaming, the numbers tend to go on the higher side. So just give us a brief about how did you start streaming? What did you change? And how's it going for you so far?
Okay, that's another long story. So basically, when I was playing UFC 3, in some point I got fed up of the game, and I did a break of, I don't know, 2-3 months, I don't remember. And once I was boring, and I said, okay, let's have a game, And who I faced on the ranking right away had Parker, and he was streaming. But I didn't know shit about streaming. I didn't even know that he was streaming. Then I knew after, and I beat him. And I was Justin Gaethje. I remember, no, maybe Dustin Poirier. Sorry, I was Poirier. He was McGregor, and I beat him. I was also a bit lucky because I just rocked him. Then I just finished him. The first rock, he was done because he was ducking, and I came with the uppercut, and I killed him. After that, I got a message on PSN, and that was Paolo Perseo. I didn't know this guy, and he was like, very good, like I just saw you beating at Parker, because he was watching his streaming, Can we have a spar? Can we have a spar? This, that, and I started to spar with this guy, and he wasn't that very, very, very good, Paolo. He was good, but like, I mean, I was in another level in that time. So I started to spar with Paolo. Then Paolo introduced me Giro Mazzaferro, if you know. And I started to spar at him also. And Giro started to tell me, enjoy, there is this league on Facebook, Cage Rage, we are making live. Because I was looking for something, cash tournament, when you feel that you are good, you want to make some money if you can, And I enjoyed Cage Rage. And I remember I did the first fight was offline. I beat, of course, my opponents. The second fight as well, and the third fight I had already ex-champion. I don't remember who was the guy. So after that, I started to enjoy those live events. So I had to stream. So I opened my Twitch account. I did this, and I started to stream for Gancho, for Cage Rage. And after that, I said, okay, like let's say I'm like top 10, top 20, top 30. Let's see, like if people are going to watch me, And I started to stream like, I don't know, I was streaming 3 hours every day, something like that. And I remember in that time I had like average 1 viewer, 2 viewers, something like that. And I remember one of my first followers were Malcolm. I don't remember Malcolm. Everyone's know Malcolm.
Yeah.
And I was streaming. That I got in Cage Rage. There was JJ. He made this team. There was TI, and I got into his team. And I started to do some cash tournaments. So the viewers were starting to grow up a bit because people were seeing me on the live events, and I started to increase a bit. And then there was basically a bad night for me. That once there was a tournament organized by Romero, and basically the prize was a copy of UFC 4, which I had already, that game. And in that time, let's say, like, finally I can say my version, So basically, the last few months of the game, Giro was stressing me out to try this haptic shit, And put this one that is good, like you are feeling the the vibration when people are punching you on the body on the right, and on the left side when they are anyway, he was stressing me out, please try, and I start to try this shit, and I was even shit, like I didn't use good, because also that made me to change my style, because before that I was aggressive one, like I was coming to you and I was finishing you. After that, with that one, I started to be attended fighter, I was waiting for my opponent, so I was keep trying it. Honestly, for the leg kicks was helpful, you know, like to block the legs. It was very good, this shit. But for me, it was something inside the game. The game is allowed you to use that. So I went on, on ranking was even good. And I started to play like this. So that night, this things was on, this Haptic. And I faced this guy that was with Libax. And I remember in the beginning of the fight, instead of the touch club, this guy just hit me and he was taunting me. And I said, I'm going to kill you now, my friend. And basically, I started to beat shit out of him. Like I was humiliating him. Like there is the video. You can, I mean, there is the full video on YouTube. You can go back and watch. Basically, I humiliated this guy. And at some point, the chat started to say, this guy is using Nico Got. Say that this guy is using Haptic. He's using Haptic. And Romero was, I mean, there is the video, everyone knows that. The Romero started to call me cheater, you know, because for them, it's cheating that. And that night was really tough, you know, because I had, I don't know, like more than 300 people on the chat insulting me, you know, who was calling me bastard, you know, motherfucker, son of a bitch, and all the rest. And I got crazy, you know, even because inside me, I was innocent because I said, what the fuck, you know, it's inside the game, this shit. So how is that cheating? How I'm cheating, you know? And that night was like, okay, I'm not going to stream anymore, you know, because was like, I was very, very, very upset about even the toxic people that they were there, you know, because in my streaming, I would never do something like this. Even if it's coming a cheater or someone, I would never let the chat, all of them, to put hate on this guy. And everyone, like no one can insult nobody else in my streaming. You got banned right away. I don't care who you are. So I decided to don't stream anymore. And in that time, you know, my best follower was Malcolm. And he was telling me, you know, please don't stop, you know, we're gonna miss you. So Malcolm helped me out in that time, you know, because also I was very upset that night, you know, like I didn't feel anymore even to play the game because I was like everyone now knows that I'm a cheater, and then people are stupid, you know, because people don't think that let's see how the story is, you know, let's see his version. No, you are just cheater and that's it. So Malcolm saved my streaming in that time. Basically, after that, the next streaming, like my numbers increased. Like I did the best streaming about viewers because like all my haters were coming in my streaming to insult me, you know, like, and I had in some point like 30, 40 viewers. I said, what the fuck? Like this thing's like is working good, you know, maybe like I shouldn't complain. But they made me famous in the bad way, you know. And after it, even Giro, you know, all my friends, they were supporting me, you know, fuck them, you know, like who you care, you know, why you care so much about, you know, do the stream and just don't worry. And so that's how was the story of the streaming, you know. And after that, I like it also that my is even not so big now is getting bigger. My community, I like to, I love games, you know, so I like what I do as a hobby is one of my favorite hobbies, you know. So that's the big history.
Well, I think.
But also, I wanted to say about this Haptic, like in PS5, they are promoting as fuck in every game this Haptic, you know. So I would like to understand, like who are them to say that is cheating?
Yeah.
And me, like, because I'm even a nice guy, I don't give a shit, like, to do, I don't know, dissing videos, you know, to bullshit on them, not even answering back, you know, like, I don't care, man. Like, they can do whatever they want. And that's like, I don't care to have that kind of followers that they are hating people on the chat. You know, after that, I had to settle my privacy on PSN because I was having messages everywhere on PSN, on Twitch, on Discord. Everyone bullshitting on me. People coming on my streaming like bullshitting everyone on me. So now, like, I got used with haters. You know, after I survived that night, I have no problems with haters. They can come and come and come.
You know, like this.
But also,
yeah.
Last thing I wanted to say, I want to say to Nico got this thing. Like, because how did you realize that I was using Haptic? Tell me how. Because you know better than me. Because you know better than me. That's why. Like, if it's like if you are stoned For example, you smoke a joint. Like I know what the joint is. If my son, one day I don't have a son, but if I would have a son, he cannot lie to me. Like if I see him on the face, I know what is the effect, so I catch you right away. That's how it works. Also outwork it with Haptic, I think, because I wasn't the only one, and also I was using just the last 2 months. All the other people, I know people that were using for a long time. So no, I don't say all of them, but a lot of them, they were using Haptic, and they just put it me, I mean, the only one using Haptic. But if you saw that, and if you are very, very good to realize it, that means that you are using as well. No bullshit. Then if you are stupid and you want to watch the other side, is another question. But if you caught me like that, you know very well, 100% that Haptic shit, you know? Anyway.
Yeah, and I think what you said may or may not be true, but like, I think to sum it up, what you've said is it takes one to know one. So if you've tried it, if you've done it, maybe that's how it is. And I've actually spoken to a lot of other guys in the community, and the accusation for a lot of other players is that they were also using haptic feedback for their own games, but you were essentially made a scapegoat in that situation. So that may be true, but at the same time, what's really refreshing to see is the fact that even without using that, you were able to really grow a community. You've been able to become one of the best players in the world.
Also after that day, the streaming after, of course, the title was No Haptic, come and fight me. You know, and there were a lot of people bullshitting on me. They were coming, and I was beating all of them. And also that time, Ziaf came. That was the first time I heard about Ziaf. He came in my streaming. He was bullshitting on me, and I told him, man, are you here to bullshit or you won't fight me? And he started to be nice, and he was fighting me. It was 2-0 for him. He beat me out 2 times, and then I did the comeback 3-2. And he was like, he started to respect me, you know, like, okay, like, so it's not because of that. Like, I'm showing you, like, I don't need Haptic to beat the best players, you know. Long story.
Yeah, we've also had Zayaf in one of our interviews previously. So again, a shout out to Zayaf as well. And on that subject, sir, there must have been a lot of people, like you've mentioned, Malcolm in your streams, Paulo, and also the name you mentioned, Giro. So there are a lot of guys who've supported you in your journey as a UFC player. So are there any people that you would want to give some shout outs to, some people that you would want to recognize in your journey as a UFC gamer and a streamer?
First of all, I want I love all my followers, you know, like I'm thankful to all of them. Even, you know, it's a pleasure to put some entertainment for guys. I don't know, in that time maybe they are boring or they had bad day. I know they can watch my streaming and they can have some fun with me. But I love all of them. There are a lot of them. I don't know. I don't remember all the names, but for example, the Warriors team, also all the guys, I don't know, Luke, even Gancho, you know, that he was promoting. And Gancho, I want to say, was the only guy about leagues that didn't bullshit on me in that time, that he was nice to me still, like, I will never forget this, you know. So even Zachary, Mr. Humble, all the guys from Cage Rage, like even you, my friend, like I think once you was beating me out, and I came back like with a knockout. It was I think I was Robbie Lawler. He was very close to win. Basically, you was coming with a head kick. So like I didn't deserve the win with you. Once you deserved me to beat me. So I don't want to say names of the followers. So if I don't remember some others, so I say I love all of you, my friendos.
Well, like you mentioned, a lot of names from the community, the Warriors team. Again, I was also a part of Warriors community till a few weeks ago. So again, a huge shout out to all the people that you've mentioned. You know, one thing that I do, I'm not very proud of, but I think I have to make a confession to you. My biggest claim to fame in UFC is when you were world #1, I did a best of 5 with you, and I won 3 of those 2 fights. I've not been able to play as good ever since, but if someone asks me, I say that's my biggest achievement when it comes to UFC. So I think I had to let you know. But
it's okay, don't worry, man.
Yeah, but again, you have been one of the more entertaining individuals in the community. You've kept it fresh. Again, and also the fact that you are one of the older people in the community, you've seen a lot of perspectives, because you see a lot of young people coming into the community being really toxic and saying things that they shouldn't say.
Man. My
But
God, man.
yeah, so I think you, with your life experiences, seeing things, real life happen. You've seen the devastation that a war can cause. You've seen what a heartbreak can do, and still come out on top and have a very good and content life. So before we end this interview, is there anything or any advice that you would want to give this UFC community?
The advice I want to do, just like to those toxic people, I hope they are kids. Because if they are, I don't know, really kids, 10, 12, 13 years old, I can understand they are kids, so they want to be tough on the chat. But I don't see any fun to fight someone else on the chat or to hate someone. What for, man? Like you are not, you don't even see the person in front of you. You're like, what's make you to have that orgasm or of bullshitting to him on chat? So I would say, be friendly, guys. Like it's just a game. Supposed to be a game to have fun, to make friends. Like with me, you know, we are having an interview. I don't know how I am with Ganj or having fun with my followers. That's how it's supposed to be. So, but I think those people are sick, you know, because it's not about the game. Like those people doesn't have nothing to do, and they are just bullshitting and putting hates on people. Like just be friendly with everyone. Now, from yesterday, I changed it on my streaming. Before I was answering back to some of them, but I don't even want to answer because I don't want to do the same thing that guys did to me. Because when I did the Haptic, for example, they were, of course, if I'm calling cheater, if I'm bullshitting to someone, all my chat is going to come after me, you know, to say more bullshit. So I prefer to don't insult no one. When someone is just bullshitting on my chat, I just ban you. I don't even give a chance to my chat then to start to hate this guy, you know. So right away, you know, I said to those guys, peace, guys. Like the world is shit already. Like at least let's have fun, you know, on this gaming community. You know, don't be nice to each others. You know what I can say. Me, I feel like even stupid to discuss sometime with them because I'm almost 40 years old, you know, like I cannot discuss with guys of 14, 50, even 20 years old, you know, they don't know shit about life and they feel lion behind the keyboard, you know. So I suggest change game, man. If you are upset or something on, I don't know, go out with a girl, go in a pub, have a walk, man. Don't come to my or some other streaming to bullshit, like waste your time. What for, you know, like I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well,
World is crazy. So there are even worse things than this.
yeah, I mean, for a lot of the community, it's very important to understand that negativity may give you some cheap pops, some little bit of popularity for a short period of time, but at the end of the day, no one really remembers the negative. Especially in case of Scott Hector, he passed away a few months ago, but the entire community, in fact, the whole UFC community remembers him as the person he was. He never really did anything bad to all of us. And I believe you were also a part of the team when Scott passed away. So
Yeah.
again, when you do nice things, the world will remember you even long after you're gone. So in words of
course.
Pablo, in words of our guest today, Fabio, don't be a jackass. Don't be a hateful person. No one will remember that. But if you are nice, if you really want to make your mark on the world, just be nice
Yeah,
at
and
the end of
also
the
I
day.
remember every guy, the first me, of course, I was sad because of this guy. Of course, I used to love, like he was always coming to my streaming every day. You know, I remember as soon as I was live, after 30 seconds, there was him. You know, already like, let's par, my friend, let's par, let's par, let's par. Like he used to love my style. Like I used to love, like I really wanted to teach him. You know, like I was really like in love with this guy. Like he was very kind. You know, that's how everyone supposed to be, you know, like that was an example. And also like even think about like that someone disappear like that, you know, if I was for example, his hater, I would be even more sad because I say, look at that guy, you know, he just passed away. I was bullshitting to him until last day. So that's why like just be friendly, you know. That was good example that you say. This guy was amazing, you know, educated, always fine. And I never saw a fight of females on the chat. You know, sometimes I see like some of my followers having beef within each other. It was always nice with everyone, man, and very kind. I'm really sorry, like about that. Like I felt like when he died, I felt like a part of me, like about the game. Like I say, what the fuck, you know, like I just lost a part of my heart, like about the game, you know, because also I was thinking like, luck, like he's not going to come on my streaming anymore. Like he's not going to ask me to spar me again, you know. I was really, really upset about that. Really upset. Rest in peace.
Yes, I believe our thoughts are with Scott Hector and his family. And as long as we play this game, we will remember him. Also, Fabio, again, it was an absolute pleasure to have you on stream. For everyone who's watching this, again, we will do our best to give spotlight to all the content creators and streamers from the UFC community. We're also doing interviews with the Pakistani community, with a lot of Tekken players, with a lot of PUBG players. So we are making sure to post content as regularly as possible, try to achieve our goals, and in order to make the stream even more entertaining and fun. So again, for everyone watching, this is Naveed, and I hope to see you guys really soon. Peace.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank
Ciao,
you, sir.
guys. Bye-bye.